Hello and welcome to Mission TV Live. I'm Natalie Wood and I have my husband John and our producer Stephanie with me this evening. And I'm sorry we're starting late. We had technical difficulties. You know, the Lord reminds us how much we need Him every time we start up this equipment, and it's such a blessing to see His answer. And that was actually, anyway, we prayed several times. Several different things went wrong, but the Lord has overruled. And so we're happy to have you with us this evening. And we invite you to call 423-413-7321, to email live@missiontv.com, to send us a message on Facebook at MissionTV Live, or to send us a tweet at MissionTV_com. Now, our topic tonight is to give is to live. Sorry, I'm stuttering. To give is to live. And before we jump into what we're going to do actually tonight, I want to go to the Gospel of James. James chapter 1 and verse 27. Pure religion and undefiled before God and the Father is this: to visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction, and to keep oneself unspotted from the world. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
So glad you could be with me.
Thank you.
It's nice not to be alone. But you know, our topic tonight was to give is to live, but we've kind of preempted it, although it goes together, because we have a special report from the Philippines. And I just want our viewers to know also that Boys is not on yet. Boys Ramondre is the director of HCBN. He's coming broadcasting network in the Philippines, in Iloilo, and they're actually about 60 kilometers from some of the worst damage, or the edge of the damage, or whatever you want to say. And they've flown over it, and they've actually uploaded some video, so we can watch that. But at this point, they're not online yet, so just pray that they can get online and give us the report firsthand. We had the report this morning, but just pray that they can get online. So.
I think what's happening is that they have to drive one guy to the airport so he can get back to Palawan, because there's another typhoon coming through.
We have had this discussion several times today. What is a tornado? What is a hurricane? What is a typhoon? What is a cyclone? It's like, anyway.
Did you figure out what was what?
Yeah, but don't ask me right now.
So what's the difference between a typhoon and a hurricane?
A typhoon happens in Asia, most of Asia, and a hurricane happens here.
And where's a cyclone?
A cyclone is in other parts of Asia.
Southern
India
hemisphere.
and South Pacific.
Yeah.
Indian Ocean, I should say, because cyclones actually hit Myanmar also.
I'd like to circulate a petition that just calls them all whatever you want to call them.
Don't worry about it. Anyway, it's pretty shocking, pretty sobering to see the pictures coming out of, on CNN and on the Weather Channel. There's like 343 pictures on the Weather Channel. And anyway, so do you want to share kind of what happened the first time you were supposed to go to the Philippines and meet with boys?
Yeah, this has some history, because this was in 2008. It was June 2008. I was planning a trip to go and see them because they wanted to start a TV channel and to go broadcast on satellite, and they had invited me to come and do a one-week training session. So I was looking at like the beginning of August of going over there, and then I saw this storm coming in. It's kind of like Tornado Alley, just goes right up through the Visayas, which is Philippines Typhoon is like 7,000.
Go ahead.
It's like 7,500 islands. So you've got the big island in the north called Luzon, and then the big island in the south called Mindanao, and then a bunch of other islands in the middle, and then Palawan off to the left, and off to the left, and the tornado goes up, and normally they just go sweeping on through.
He's gonna have trouble with that. All I can tell.
I don't really care.
Anyway,
it's the thing that goes like this, okay?
Okay, just...
And it normally goes right on past this island at Panay, and Iloilo is the town that Boise and they wanted to do the training in. That's in the southern tip of the island of Panay. And it usually goes sweeping on past. This one, it stopped and it hovered and came down over the island.
That was in 2008.
In 2008, and it dumped a lot of water, and a big water mudslide came down and took out, and 5,000 people lost their lives in Iloilo, the city I was supposed to go to. And so I was looking at it thinking, my goodness, what are they doing that makes Satan so mad? So I rescheduled for September, and we bought 2 iMacs and 3 computer cameras, like what we have here, and flew over there and did a 1-week seminar. Had 40 people attend, and after that they had 3 people stay, and that was the start of their HCBN broadcasting. I think 4 months later, they were on satellite, and they were broadcasting for the last 4 years
until the end of August.
Right.
This year.
Right. So
Shall we see if he's on Skype yet?
We can try, sure. So that's kind of the history. That's how I got to know boys, and it's kind of where that started. He is not there, but Dwayne Harris tried.
Dwayne is there.
I would like to accept his friend request. I'm doing this left-handed. So Dwayne Harris is online. You want to explain who Dwayne Harris is?
Dwayne is a pilot with Gospel Ministries International, and they've been based in Palawan, but they've recently started a second project or something, I think second project in northern Luzon. So he and his wife, there he is. We need to put on our headphones so that we can hear.
Hello, Dwayne.
Hello.
Because last week we had the Skype call without the headphones, and we had feedback
How you doing?
on our mics. So
We're doing well. This isn't set up exactly how it was supposed to be. We're supposed to be at an office with good internet, but we'll see how this works.
Okay, where are you now?
you can't hear very much.
Well, over at
Can you try to
Boise's house, but he ran Sean to the airport and hasn't gotten back yet. So
You've got another tornado coming in from.
well, just a tropical depression, probably just a lot of rain and stuff, but it doesn't add to the situation.
So Sean had to head back to Palawan.
Yeah, he's headed back, and there was a medevac request from Mapoon, another little island out in the middle of nowhere, that he was going to pick up on his way. So,
He's flying a small plane.
yeah, he's flying Cessna back down there.
Okay. All
So
right.
we heard there's another typhoon on the way.
Well, it's not a typhoon. It's just kind of a tropical storm, but yeah, it probably just dump a lot of rain and a little bit windy, but not enough to do damage.
Okay. It's just not the best to fly in that kind of weather, right?
No, it's not ideal, especially in a small airplane like a Cessna 172.
Yeah.
Because that'll be a tailwind for him, won't it?
Yeah, well, it should help him out, blow him down there.
As long as it blows him in the air.
And doesn't make him spin.
Yeah. So Dwayne, you went with boys and some of the others and flew over the recent damage, and we saw some of the pictures, and I just wanted to find out kind of your take on it. What do you think?
Well, we tried to get up here as soon as we could. There on Saturday, the day after it came through, and we flew around for a few hours, and it looks like very similar to what a tornado path looks like, except it's about 20 miles wide instead of, a mile wide. But it's very devastating. Just looking at the trees in some areas, the majority of the trees have been completely knocked over. And what's left has no vegetation left on it. And the houses, if they weren't, solid cement structures, were completely flattened.
So some of the solid cement ones seem to survive better, or?
Yeah, most of them, the main structure survived, but there's missing roofs and stuff off of those too. So.
Okay. And then they had the water, the huge walls of water that came at them.
Yeah, over on the coast in Leyte, where it made the initial landfall, there was a big storm surge that came with it, kind of basically like a tsunami. And, they were saying it was at least 15-foot high waves came in and just destroyed the coastline right there in Tacloban and south of there as well.
So how many people do you think are actually involved with this?
Well, it's pretty hard to say because there's still a lot of information that is not available just because there's still no, cell service in a lot of areas, and so they're still trying to gather information to learn, what the actual figures are for fatalities and the destruction and stuff. But just in northern Panay Island here, where Iloilo's at, it seemed like it knocked or damaged at least 50% of the houses, in at least a 20-mile wide swath, and some of those, were completely destroyed.
Wow.
Yeah, Boyce was telling us earlier that that there weren't any people standing on the road, and that made him even more concerned about how many people there were that had disappeared.
You kind of wondered, as we were flying around, we weren't, we were staying around 500 feet off the ground, and there didn't seem to be a lot of activity in some areas, but it's hard to say right now. Maybe by the end of the week they might have some more accurate figures as to the loss of life and amount of dollars of damage, but it's massive.
So how would you do you know how this compares to maybe that big tsunami that hit Thailand? Is this worse, or is it kind of similar?
Well, it's a lot smaller scale, of course. That the tsunami back that hit Thailand and Indonesia was on a more widespread scale, but people are saying it was very similar on the coast where it actually hit, where it made landfall. Just seeing some of the pictures that come from there, it's just total destruction.
Right.
Big boats have been floated inland quite a ways, and everything is destroyed. Nothing standing.
Wow.
Well, for those of you that are just joining us, we're talking with Dwayne Harris. He's one of the pilots that works with Gospel Ministries International, and he is based in the Philippines, in northern Luzon now. And Dwayne, you and Wendy have been working over there for how long?
Oh, I've been over here a little over 6 years, and of course Wendy's been here over 10 years.
Okay. And your project now, you're working in northern Luzon?
Yeah, we have an air base in Palawan and one in northern Luzon.
Okay.
We have 2 airplanes.
Okay. So when you took the plane and flew up there, was there, I think Boyce had said something about there were goods that couldn't get there, relief goods, water and food that couldn't get up to some of the areas where you flew over? Is there?
Yeah, there's a pretty large area on northern Panay Island here that is flooded as well. Not only did it knock a lot of stuff down, it dumped a lot of water, and so there's just little islands of land out there now, and most of the roads are cut off because of flooding. So there's no way except by air or by boat to get back into some of those areas.
Okay. Wow. And so with no cell service, John always tells me everybody in the Philippines has a cell phone. So with no cell service, that means there's no communication. I know Boyce told us there are, I think, 3 or 4 of the volunteers that work with HCBN that haven't heard from their families. They're from some of those areas, and that's really hard.
Yeah, it's completely, kind of cut off, and that's where aircraft come in and kind of the initial assessment to give to give the government and the aid organizations an idea of the scope and picture of things, because without, until they get people back in there on the ground, with sat phones or something, there's no way to know what the situation is.
Wow.
So what groups are you working with then in coordinating?
Well, we did some flying for the Department of Social Welfare and Development for the country, and they also coordinate and work closely with a lot of the other aid agencies and coordinate a lot of the relief efforts. So we had flown a number of bags of relief goods and stuff up to Rojas on northern Panay here, that the airport had been hit pretty hard, but the runway was open, so we were able to use that and take some stuff up there with a few of the DSWD people to kind of start getting some of the relief efforts going.
Okay.
So there's people up there that are kind of like trapped without access to food and water and stuff, or?
Yeah, they're getting some of the roads open now. They had sent a couple of trucks, by land, but 2 days later they still hadn't got there. So they've gotten things opened up by now, but it was a few days before roads were opened enough to be able to get trucks and stuff through to some of these places. And these flooded places, they're still cut off. There's still no one being able to get into those areas.
So are you thinking of dropping some food on them?
Yeah, there's also a few islands that were hit pretty hard that have airstrips on them that we're going to try to use and get some stuff into those. The government and the aid organizations tend to focus on the more urbanized areas, but a lot of these outlying, more rural areas, they're just as bad, but they kind of get ignored much, until the very last. So we'll see if we can get a little bit of help into some of those areas.
So Panay is, it's not one of the main islands of the Philippines? Panay?
Yeah, it's one of the main central Visayas islands.
Okay.
Beside Negros and Cebu.
Okay, so that's in the central part. I'm trying to switch over to the Skype. I'm sorry, the
map?
Google Earth. Yeah.
Oh,
So,
it's not letting you?
Right, it's not letting me. So anyway, what is the where do you resource the food and supplies that you're taking to these people? Well,
there's been a lot that have been prepared by, by churches and by like the DSWD group. It was known about a week out that this storm was headed this way, and it looked like it's going to be pretty bad. So there's been quite a bit of preparation made for that, and a lot of the local churches have been involved in those preparations and getting stuff together to send out.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we're just looking at. You're in Iloilo right now, is that correct?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, so we're looking at the map here of Iloilo. It's at the southern tip of this island of Panay. And according to this this map that we saw with the trajectory or the path of this typhoon, it goes right through the center of all these islands. And so this island here, or is it this island? This island here is Panay. And you can see that over here on Google Earth. This island right here. So this is the island that they're on.
It's actually higher on that map. It's higher. If you go back to the other map, it's a different island than you thought. It's this one.
This island.
Yeah.
So it's that island right there, and if we look, so it basically came up through here. Now the big city that everyone's talking about is this little city right in here, Tacloban. Have you heard much of Tacloban over there?
We haven't personally been there, but everything that is coming out of there is it's a real mess. Probably the worst place of the whole Philippines as far as the damage goes, and that was primarily because of the storm surge that came along with it, that swamped everything on the coast. And it's pretty chaotic over there. People have resorted to looting, and there's kind of a lawless chaos going on right now. People get desperate and they do anything trying to survive. So
we're looking at a picture right now with a boat that looks like probably 40 foot tall boat that's up on dry land. Looks like it's sitting on where a house used to be. And it must have had some amazing waves, amazing surge and wind to get that boat up there. That's insane. They're saying that it's like it's broken records for landfall, speed of the wind on a landfall.
Yeah, the reports, talking to people that had been from that area were saying the storm surge, the waves that were coming in were between 15 and 30 feet high that were coming in, hitting there. So that would have been a pretty big, big water flood.
Yeah. So by the time I got over to your place, it had kind of spent itself a little bit. It had kind of gone down, or?
Well, it actually, the winds, it strengthened a little bit as it came over Panay here, but of course you didn't have the
population,
the storm surge, because it's already crossed islands that have kind of broken that up. But the winds were still, full force. They were saying between 275 and like 300 kilometers an hour, so which is, close to 200 miles an hour.
200 miles an hour. What would that be like to be in? I mean, like, were you anywhere near it when it came through?
No, we were in Palawan at our air base down there, but I've been in, maybe 80, 90 mile an hour winds before, and I thought that was pretty strong. You know, it's hard to stand up in that, but yeah, it's something 200 miles an hour. It's going to destroy most anything in its path.
Yeah. Yeah. Look at that. We've got cement buildings knocked down. That's amazing. Wow. Well, we had a tornado came through here a few years ago that you were involved with. I believe that was 2011. So 2.5 years ago. But you missed it. You got here. No, you were here when it came through. What was that like for you?
Oh man, the winds were really, really high, and it was pouring, just crazy rain. But it was nothing like that. I mean, it wasn't. I think the max it was 90-mile-an-hour winds or something.
And you can see a path.
And it's
right through the forest where this thing came. It's like a vacuum cleaner, and all the trees are just
all the trees
up.
were gone, all the houses were gone.
Yeah, you'd see a cement pad where there used to be a house, and then a bunch of rubble in the lawn. Then that was 90-mile-an-hour wind.
I think it was 90.
And they're pushing 200.
And it was covering such a much wider span.
Yeah.
How wide? Was it 20, 40 miles, you said?
Dwayne, are you still there? Go ahead.
Yeah, I think you kind of dropped off for a minute, but the swath that, of the worst destruction was about 20 miles wide, and then, it gets less and less as you go out from there, but it's pretty devastating.
So how far is the destruction from Iloilo where you are now?
It starts getting bad about 30 miles north of here.
So 30 miles. Let's see how big that is. Let's go to miles and here, and we go out. Well, here's 30 miles. That's just right there. So the island's really not that big. It's about 60 miles to the north side, not the far north, or the shore. So halfway across the island, that's when it's really started getting bad.
Right across, maybe 20 miles from the north coast of Penang, and went right across the top of it.
Wow. There's some cities up there, Roxas City and Calibo. Did you hear anything about them?
Yeah, we had flown into Rojas City there on Sunday. And the control tower they had at the airport the top was completely blown off and gone off of it. The controllers were just standing out there in the open.
Oh, wow.
Aww.
Wow.
It worked things up pretty good, but there's some good solid structures there. One of them was an Adventist church that they were using as a, kind of a relief rescue center. So.
Well, we have somebody here that Luis Haiyan, very similar to the name of the storm, but he's actually been in a tornado.
A hurricane.
Hurricane.
Get it right, John.
I'm trying. I figure if I'll say something.
Can you come out here, please?
If it's wrong, she'll just correct me.
Well, we'll have him come out here and he can talk to us about that. But we have a video from when they flew over. I don't know who shot this, but they uploaded it to the HCBN YouTube channel so we can show it this evening. So, is it playing?
This is the video that they took while in Dwayne's airplane as they were flying over this land. You still there, Dwayne?
Yeah, we're still here.
Okay. That's pretty stunning images.
Yeah. That's amazing.
It's heartbreaking to think about. I mean, having been through the tornadoes here, seeing it looks so similar in so many ways, except we didn't have the huge areas of flooded water.
Except that's huge. What was here.
Yeah. So Dwayne, if people want to help what you guys are doing, is the best way to send the money through the Riverview group, or is it to send through GMI, or what's the best way?
Well, let me have you talk with one of his photographers, and he put this video together as well, and he can share more about the best way for the donations to be channeled.
Hey, Van, how are you?
Doing fine.
Praise the Lord.
Getting overwhelmed by the need of the people on the ground.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
You have seen is just the tip of the iceberg, because they were just the aerial shots. And today, as some of the areas are reached by land, we are getting reports already, personal reports and accounts, because most of these areas were inaccessible by land. And there is no power, there's no communication. And the only way for us to know the real score in the ground is to go there personally, or sending volunteers to check on the plight of the people. And we have realized that what you have seen, or what we have shown in the video, is just the tip of the iceberg.
Wow.
Yeah, until you really get down there, you can't tell.
Yes, there are barangays that were totally wiped out. Hundreds of families are homeless, and right now they are just staying under the tree. And another typhoon is coming. Some have no food, no clothing, and not even shelter, and they're getting desperate.
Wow.
So as soon that we can bring relief to these people would be very, very, would give a high impact on their plight and their survival.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
That our government is not was caught and flat-footed, and have not realized the immensity of the damage that the super typhoon have brought.
Wow.
So we are part of volunteers, of logistics, especially that the real score is already started to trickle in. There are lots of casualties as well.
Wow. So, Devan, you've done this before. You've kind of had this experience before in trying to run some relief efforts. About 5 years ago, in 2008.
During the Typhoon Frank that flooded the inter-island of Panay. But we believe this is worse. During that time, after the flood, they still can go back to their homes and houses. But this time around, not only they're flooded, but they're homeless as well. So the soonest that we can bring directly to the areas that the government can give focus to is one of our primary concern right now. Because those that they can access are only nearest to the highways and roads and to the towns, but far-flung barangays and some are not yet accessible as of the moment are the areas that we're trying to reach at this very moment.
So what do you do in the light of such overwhelming disaster? Where do you start?
Right now we are starting to gather information to really determine and get some volunteers right on the ground. That's what we did last time. People who are also victims and are convicted to join us. We recruit them as volunteers and as a part of the distribution team, so that they personally, being on the ground, they personally know the people who are in greater need than what they are that they are having to. So
then, where do you get your supplies and things like that to help?
Right now, we are appealing to our friends, local and abroad, if they can give us the necessary funds or logistics or even to volunteer, whatever it is. Everything is needed right now.
Wow! So there's a possibility. There's hope that we can help from here as well. Correct?
Yes, but the fastest way would be to send it in terms of a fund, and we'll be able to easily determine what's needed on the ground on a specific area, so that we'll be giving what's really needed the most.
So just sending funds over there for you to then purchase. Are you able to find supplies to purchase?
Sufficient supplies are available. In fact, right now, one of their immediate needs are tents, tarps, that as their temporary shelter, aside from the food.
And clean water?
Yes, primarily clean water. Most of the areas that have water supply, that's why they are so desperate right now. So
Wow.
clean water and tarps as their temporary shelters.
Were a lot of people surprised by this, the strength of this typhoon?
This is unprecedented. We always were visited by typhoon. At least the country is having at least 23 typhoons in a year. But this time, we have the most number of typhoons. In fact, at this very moment, another typhoon is coming on our way, although of a lesser strength.
So you have all those people that have no homes and no food and no water, and more rain is coming and more wind.
Yes, that's what we are anxious about this moment.
Yeah.
Do you need personnel, people to come help, or do you have plenty of people?
There are lots of volunteers available, and mostly of our volunteers right now are doing the packing for the government supplies. The Department of Social Welfare and Development, which is also running short of people to do the dirty work of packing and transporting.
Okay.
So how people are going to be able to? I think it's frozen.
Are you there? Uh-oh. Well, be back in a minute. Luis, you've been in a storm that goes in a circle before. Tell me what that's like.
Well, I lived in Florida for 5 years, so it's well known for a lot of hurricanes. Nothing really that strong ever. I think the biggest was Andrews a few years ago, and other back.
So I have to frame this thing. Cutting out there.
Okay, can you hear us again?
Can you hear us?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
All right, welcome back. It's amazing you have internet access there.
In the city, we don't have any problem with it right now. It's only out in the field that they don't have anything.
Wow. So
So news reports from the ground has to be carried out personally, or they have to travel for about 30 to 40 kilometers from the location and find the cell phone signal, and that's how we can contact them.
Moisey was telling us that you sent out a truck and
No, the government.
from the government, and it took how long to get the 60 kilometers?
60 kilometers
No,
to take.
it was,
The other day, it took about almost a day to travel from Iloilo to just the second town of the next province, Capiz. It's merely about 100 kilometers away.
100 kilometers took all day. So
Because the roads are strewn with fallen trees and debris and power lines, posts that poses the biggest challenge accessing these areas.
wow. So the last time in 2008 when you had that disaster there in Iloilo, how did you distribute the food, and then it seemed like you were able to somehow develop interest in God's Word through the way that you distributed the supplies.
Yeah, that's our what we do. It's not only give them the food that they need, the relief goods that they need. What makes it different from the way we do things is that we explain to the people why these things are happening. And because there is a great misunderstanding or even the wrong concept that the people is trying to say that it is the curse from God because Philippines is maybe probably getting so sinful, and it is they're having a wrong idea of their picture about God, which is a God of love. So what we do is explain to them why these things are happening, what's the implication to us, and also it is not just something that will happen once in their lifetime, and in fact, to prepare themselves and brace for greater challenges that will be forthcoming. And this tells that very, very soon there will eventually be an end to all of this. This is the soon coming of their Savior, the only hope and glory of this world. So that's the main theme of why we're doing it. We share to them that we're just doing our job to let them feel and understand that the God that they knew loves them so much and is suffering with them. And it's He knows their needs, and we are there to express that love to them.
And so out of that supply distribution that you did last time, how many interests for Bible studies did you have register?
Oh, actually, that was 5 years ago, and until now, the Bible study interest have never waned. We are running short of volunteer Bible workers to cover them for Bible studies, especially those that we have reached and have helped during those difficult times. They're the very ones that are really very, very recipient to God's message.
I remember somewhere around 2,000 Bible study interests from that
Right at the beginning.
at the end of their giving out the supplies.
Yeah, actually, we have these historic records of baptism running 2000s in the first 2 years after that calamity.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then you started your church there, Riverview SDA Church, started Philippines AFCO to train more Bible workers to do more Bible studies.
It's part of the answer to the challenge that we realized by training armies out in the field. Through the help of Amazing Facts, Center of Center of Evangelism, we train volunteer workers that will be able to conduct not only personal and Bible studies, but also evangelistic meetings and medical missionary work.
That's beautiful. And I think that's why God sends these events is to capture our attention. Is to say, life isn't forever. There is bigger things to think about and turn our eyes towards eternal things like God and be interested in the eternal things. So I think that's wonderful that you're able to do this and find some redeeming value and come close to the people in doing it. But we're coming into the season of giving. This show is supposed to be all about giving. And do you find joy? I know this is a terrible event that's happened, but do you find more joy in sitting back or in going out and helping and in giving?
Actually, this is what we have realized, that it is during these moments of crisis and calamities that we find as well the greatest opportunity. Behind these calamities are great opportunities. Opportunities to serve and opportunities to touch lives that could never be touched or reached during comfortable times. And it is this realization as well that it is in doing this thing of doing service and giving, it is during these moments that we realize the true meaning of a word that it's blessed to give than to receive. Because it means that if we are the ones giving during these times, we are more blessed. Because we are not the recipients, we are not the victims of those who are suffering. We are not among those homeless, those who are suffering and in pain or having traumatic experience that going through, especially at this time.
So you must have, doing all this stuff, you must be part of a very large church there in Iloilo.
No, we are a very, very small church. Our active membership is just about 100. But we have realized that we don't need to be so big to do great things, but to simply allow God to use us.
Amen.
Taking our funds and resources available for His use and to give honor and glory to Him.
Yeah. Not only do they do this outreach, but they also have a radio, 24/7 radio station, quite a number of places. Sorry?
We have FM radio that's still on the air up to this moment.
They had a satellite television going on for several years up until just this last August. And they have a church school, all these things happening. But
didn't you start some restaurants also? Or was that in the plan?
Yeah, that's by God's grace, forthcoming. Right now, what we are doing is having our weekly vegetarian cooking class for mothers and for the church members.
Wow. So, okay, so it sounds like there's opportunities for us to get involved and share the joy. Would you be willing to share the joy with some of us?
Oh, sure. This is now the opportunity to share the joy of giving.
Yeah, this is actually a very special, unique opportunity because usually you give money to a big organization and you just trust that it's gone to where it needs to go. But here, you know, we've got people on the ground that are doing the work with their own hands. They're getting the supplies, they're loading it on airplanes or trucks, they're going out there, they're talking to the people, they're finding out where the greatest need is, they're looking and knowing ways to stretch the need as far as possible, and they're giving an opportunity to study the Bible and to learn more about this God who is bigger than us. What a tremendous opportunity to get involved and to help. I'm excited about this, and I've known these guys for quite a number of years, so they're solid gold as far as this goes. And you got another guy behind you, Van.
It's time for me to give time to my partner, volunteer brother Boyki.
Thank you,
Hello.
Van. Hello, boys. Welcome back from the airport. How was the road?
It's clear. Going to the airport, Iloilo has almost no damage at all.
Okay,
Oh, praise the Lord.
good. All right, so
It's way to do a medical evacuation, and he's flying for about 4 hours.
I appreciate your neck there.
Oh, we lost him.
Oh, it's frozen.
Oh, no.
So
So
tell us
we
more.
haven't given the information to the people just in case they need
Right.
to send. I don't know if he's going to give any.
He gave information for how to send to the Philippines.
Okay.
But if you want to send a tax deductible donation, so you can get a tax deductible receipt, you can send it to either Jesus for Asia or Gospel Ministries International. If you go to JesusForAsia.org, you'll see like a donate button. Click on that, and then you'll see where it says a whole list of, well, we can go there right now. So there's a whole list of things there. You can click on, let's go to, sorry. So let's go to Jesus for Asia, JESUS, 4 ASIA.org. And then it will take you to their website, our website. And then you go over here and see that donate button. Just click right there. And then what you want is the whole list of projects. As soon as we get there,
Did you put up a project?
yeah, click here for a complete project list. Click on that. And then here at the top right now is this project, Typhoon Haiyan Relief. You can put the amount there, scroll down to the bottom, and then click Next. If you want this to be a monthly payment, you can click Recurring Payment, but you probably don't want to. Click that, it'll take you to, oh, I forgot to put in some amount.
That's okay.
It'll take you to PayPal, and you can give your credit card, and I don't think you have to sign up as a PayPal member. It doesn't hurt, but anyway, you can pay, and 100% of your donation will go to our team in the Philippines, there in Iloilo, and they will make sure that gets stretched as far as possible to help as many people as possible, not just physically, but also into the kingdom.
Also, if they want to help through Gospel Ministries, like you
Yes.
said, that would be the PAMAS, Philippine Aviation Medical, no, Adventist Medical Aviation Service. I'm
Yes.
always getting that backward. So Philippine Adventist Medical Aviation Services, that's Dwayne and Wendy's ministry.
Right.
And
Well,
so
they
to
can
help,
they can also call
right.
the
Right.
office and
So, but that's the project that they're looking at
Yeah.
for helping
Yeah.
Dwayne.
So what's the phone number for the office?
the phone number for the office is 423-473-1841.
1841. 1841, 3 years before the Great Disappointment.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So-
if they want the extension is 106, and that's Tim. the accountant.
accounting.
Yeah, so you can talk straight to the accountant and get all that information. You can go to gospelministry.org and click on donate, and there's donate by specific project button right there. All these different things here, different options. You can, I think, add in information.
You can search by country and ministry
go.
area.
There you go.
So if you go to Philippines there, you
Philippines
should see.
and aviation. And here's aviation maintenance, aviation North America.
Whoops, it's not working. Well, anyway, at least it's aviation.
giving you-
There
is that
it is,
where-
Here's
right there.
PAMIS right here. PAMIS, Philippines helicopter project.
But he
PAMIS,
had to sell the helicopter, now he has an airplane.
yeah. So you can click there, put the amount in there, and then donate.
And then
that
follow
out.
the instructions
Follow the instructions.
from there. So you can call GMI or you can call Jesus for Asia, also 423-413-7321. And actually, if you call right now, you'll be talking to the Mission TV Live show because that's where we are right now. But if
she can
you'd
give
like
you
to
all
give
that
a donation, we can get that. Dwayne and Wendy also have a website, pamasmission.org, PAMAS mission, MISSION.org, if you want to go and read their blogs as well. And the video that we showed you, the aerial footage, is on YouTube, and the channel is HCBN TV. HCBN TV. HCBN stands for He's Coming Broadcasting Network. So if you want to get to that video and watch it again, share it with your friends, whatever, that's where it's at. It's on YouTube. And John's trying to find it right now.
Yeah, here's the channel. It's got a lot of different things that they're producing right there in Iloilo.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Okay. Well, our time is almost up. Shall we see if we can get Boise for a few minutes?
Yes, let's try.
And it's actually up now.
My goodness.
We're over because we started late
late,
because we
yeah.
had problems. But let's see if we can get Boise for a moment, at least. I know that his heart was burdened this morning, our time, when he was sharing with us his thoughts and feelings.
The person
Even
whom you're trying to reach
after
is currently
going
unavailable.
getting a voice message. No, that's okay.
I'll try again.
Okay. Anyway, I know he was sharing from his heart, and he's just greatly burdened for the people.
Well, and I was just thinking about, this really is a great time to donate, because not only can we help these people physically, but they're probably going to be more receptive right now than at a different time.
Right.
And is that he was talking about all the opportunities they have, but the message is not only for them; it's for us to help also, because they say, well, you have to volunteer, but there's not too much we can do from here but help, and it's an opportunity
Sending
for
money.
us, also to help with that.
So you were talking about actually being in the eye of...
Well, there was a hurricane, and I don't remember the year, but it was called Ivan. It was crazy because he came in, it was not too strong, but it came in, landed on Florida, got out, turned again, and came back in again twice. It was very weird. But it was nothing like this one, but we lost power for about a week, and all the supermarkets were closed. So you had to go whatever place that was open, because there's no electricity, so supermarkets, they don't open. But these little stores, they will open, and you will see the lines of people. I mean, you still could drive and move, but looking at this is just too much.
It really looks like a big tornado just came in.
Yeah, that's what a guy was saying. He's saying it's like a tornado, but for 4 hours. Usually tornadoes last seconds; they just pass by, but these just stay for the
And it was
longest. And the water, it was.
And then what's it like going through the middle, the eye?
Well, the thing is, the hurricanes are huge, so they go in one direction, right? So if they go in this direction, when it hits you this way. So the wind, it goes that way, and until it gets to the eye of the hurricane, and then you have completely. I mean, if it's
Silence.
daylight, you can even see the sun.
And it's calm.
And it's calm and everything. And then once it passes, then the air goes the other direction. So whatever didn't happen, or like if your house, like in my case, my apartment was facing one direction, and so you didn't feel anything. We were actually in the window looking. But the next one was hitting directly to the window.
So it went the other
And
direction.
you will see, I mean, it was a glass, and you will see the glass bending.
Whoa.
Almost. I mean, that was,
Did it break?
no,
that's
thank
good.
God. It was scary. It was very, because once water comes in, is
Oh my.
but I just can't imagine.
How fast was that wind?
Well, that was probably Cat 2, I mean, Category 2.
So like 90, 100?
Yeah, something like that. And you don't want to be outside. And this one was Category 5 or 4. I mean, that's just. I mean, you see the houses, and it looks like a tornado, not like a hurricane. If you look for videos on hurricane, you see a lot of water damage and some of the trees falling. But the house were ripped off like a tornado.
Shall we try one more
Amazing.
time real quick to see if we can get Boyce?
Sure.
I know he was driving like a crazy man probably to get back in time, but
Yeah.
we do need to go. It is late. It's just been,
Well, we're definitely grateful for the viewers that are.
staying with us
Staying with
really
us.
late.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that we were delayed because of
The person you're trying to reach is currently unavailable.
that 5-year-old Mac that's back there that we're using for the capture computer.
Yeah.
It didn't work for editing, so we moved it down to the capture computer. And
Now it's
think
not
we need to
working for
move it.
that either.
yeah. Okay.
Well, that's too bad. Oh,
Yeah.
here he's calling.
It's gone.
Perfect. Hello, boys.
Sorry, we transferred you.
Oh, you had to walk across the. Well, welcome back.
Hi.
Hi, Don.
Hi.
How are you? So you're in the Shine Iloilo Shine office?
Now we're in the office beside church, beside Riverview.
Oh, you drove downtown.
Yep, we tried to dodge traffic.
Wow.
We flew.
Wow, that was fast.
That was very fast. You have internet there.
Better internet here.
Yeah, okay.
We were intending to have the interview here, but you started, so anyway, it worked.
Yeah,
So we're here.
yeah. Well, we just got a couple of minutes left in our show, but we just wanted to hear from you what your assessment of the situation is and how we can help best.
So what I've seen so far, comparing to Typhoon Frank, which was pretty bad. In Typhoon Frank, after you do relief operations, after the water goes down, everybody has a home to go to, at least almost. But this time, it's like 80% of the people do not have roofs over their heads now.
Wow.
So after being able to survive, the next thing would be shelter. But for some other towns, like in the islands of Tacloban, in Leyte and Samar, the biggest problem is armed looting. So the government has to step in and get some peace and order before we can send in any volunteers. Otherwise, their lives will be at risk as well. So now it's like once the flood recedes, we will see how many bodies have to be picked up. So the reports are really sketchy. So just like Frank, when they were digging through the streets and getting the mud out, a lot of people were still covered. So right now they're having in areas which are shallower, which the water receded from earlier. They have to dig mass graves because they can't even identify people anymore. So they know there's somebody there because of the smell, rather before they can even see them. So it's really a bad picture. There's no power. There's no communication. Reports are really sketchy. That's why the death toll and the casualty rates are supposedly low as of this time because there are no reports coming in yet. But like as of this morning, we have one of our pastors way up in the north, and he has reported like I don't know if Van shared this with you already. Like he has from the Aklan province. This is the northwestern province of Panay Island. A damage assessment report as of 5 p.m. yesterday. The numbers of affected families, 50,776. Those are families. Number of persons affected, 223,200.
Wow.
Number of houses partially destroyed, 27,000. Totally destroyed, 24,000. And that's why the dead, they say 7, injured 57, because the reports, it's hard to count. But the big worry that I have, like during Frank, when you go and do relief operations or do a survey, you'd see a lot of people on the streets or wherever there is dry land. And I'm not seeing them now. So it's like there are structures blown down, but you don't see people walking around. So
what do you think happened?
My fear is greater that there's more people that are missing and can't be accounted for.
With those kinds of winds, it seems like people could lose their lives just from flying debris.
Even like nothing here has been designed to withstand a Category 5. Most of the structures here have been designed for Category 3. So there are even concrete structures that went down on the direct path of the typhoon. You have 235 mile per hour winds. And it built up while it was crossing Panay. When we thought it was going to be down to signal 4, it built up to signal number 5. So there were reports of people who saw rows of houses, like rows of 70 houses, just one sweep, all gone. Some people were in the market. They thought the market would be a safer place. The whole one side, they usually have a market with a square and the roof around. So one side goes down. A lot of people inside go away with it. And there are families like a mother bringing her child, and then you have, as you said, flying debris hitting the child, leaving the mother without the child anymore. There are some instances, the same house, in the same house, some families were the house was lifted up, so they clung onto the trees, and the rest of the family got left behind. They never saw them anymore. So those are the stories that are surfacing. So we have to go on the ground and get more information.
Well, boys, since we've been talking, we've already received a donation.
Wow, praise God.
So I imagine your heart is very heavy with what you're seeing out there. We can only imagine and see pictures and hear your stories, but...
Yeah, it's very you get, like even on the flight itself, you get overwhelmed with taking all the pictures. It looks the same. It's like the same story all over again. Like you ride on the plane for an hour. Everything is the same. Everything which used to be land is now all water. You see houses and structures surrounded by water. You don't see people walking around. You see all the trees. We never see coconut trees uprooted, but this storm it's like patches of coconut trees uprooted. That never happens, not even on Signal 4. So really, really different, really. And this is going to stay longer than Typhoon Frank.
So the effect is going to
People
be
don't have houses.
the effect is going to be longer and more profound. Loss of houses, loss of probably crops, loss of coconut trees.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of peace and order problems. People are going to go hungry. They're going to get desperate. That's already happening in one island. They need to put in martial law to get, because banks and automatic teller machines were the first to go. Second, the grocery stores, the pharmacies, even the hospitals were being looted. And now it's house to house armed looting.
Wow.
So we hope that the goods will get there before people start getting into that mode of action.
So when did this pass through? This only passed through like 3 days ago, right?
Yeah, November 8th.
And you already have this kind of activity happening? People are already desperate?
It's in the other island where they had
Actually, it doesn't
the
take too long.
tallest storm surge. They had about a 30 or 40 foot waves coming into the city. That was happening like the day after.
Wow.
Because no genset would have gone on. Nothing works because you get storm surge on the first go.
So no generator, no power.
Everything's out. There's no power, there's no communication, nothing.
So people know that it's going to take longer this time. So that's why they
Yes.
load them early so they can get something. Yeah.
And there was one mayor in a very remote municipality. He had to travel by 8 hours by motorcycle just to get information out that they're down.
Wow.
So, and these are supposedly, if you take that trip, it's a 1.5 hour easy drive.
Really?
Take 2 hours, and then just imagine the relief goods that were sent from here in Iloilo. They send 2 trucks down to Roja City, which is only 100 kilometers. It took them 2 days to get there.
2 days.
And that's the main road. Think about all these other villages up in the mountains, out in the hills. And that is what we saw. The big question is, how do we get to these people? We need all the resources that we can get our hands on. So the major thing that they're campaigning is because everybody has packed food, clothes. So they're now asking for tarpaulins, for tents, for anything that they can have over their heads.
For shelter.
Or something to lie down on, because the ground is still wet. You can't sleep. You can't rest.
When the next storm, when is supposed to hit?
The next storm is in, but it's like a tropical depression more than a storm. It's bringing some rain down into Mindanao. We're getting some rain here today, so it's between Panay and Mindanao that it's going to have more of rains. And yeah, it's good. It's not developing into a storm. It's a depression.
The rain without house, I don't think it's any good.
Yeah.
No, but I'd like to bring you back 2 weeks ago. The major earthquake that Bohol had. So people there are already without homes. Then this typhoon comes in your way. You don't live in your house as well because you're lying down on fault lines. There are still houses there are sinkholes, there are places where the sea floor has risen by about 20 feet. So that's the scenario. They've had like about 3,000 aftershocks. Then a storm comes in bringing rain. So they've been on this situation for more than 2 weeks already.
Wow.
Plus rain. So the problem there is like even their wells have run dry because it was a vertical earthquake. So your underground water streams have been cut. So how to get water, even basic water, your well which you thought you would have water, there's no water there.
So the water that flows through the earth got cut.
Yeah.
So that the wells are running dry.
All those underground streams have been cut.
Wow. Oh man. There's a lot of opportunity there.
Big opportunity. We have to get our minds focused that these are opportunities and not calamities for us. These are big opportunities that tell people that God is coming. Because in Bohol, when the volunteers went out there, they didn't even know that Jesus was coming again. So there's a message that we can bring out, message of hope to these people who need it at this time.
Yes. Yes. Well, Boise, it's been wonderful to talk to you. Thank you so much for your update, for taking time out of your busy schedule. And we're going to send relief over there to help you guys out in your work. But our prayers are with you
really
throughout the day. So.
All right, thank you again. And I just want to thank each of you for being on the show tonight. I know that it's sobering and it's heartbreaking to think about what our brothers and sisters are going through, especially the last area that he was talking about where they've been so hard hit already with the earthquake. And you know, it just makes you stop and just consider, doesn't it? And you know, I want to remind our viewers, if you'd like to give, you can give at the Jesus for Asia website on the donate page to the Typhoon Relief Fund, and we'll be sending that over as quickly as we can. And then if you want to donate to help with the airplane, that would be Dwayne Harris, and his project is PAMIS, and you can find that on gospelministry.org. And go to their donate page, and you can find that there. And, you know, pray. Pray for these people. Pray for the volunteers that are going out and giving of themselves during this time of pain. Some of the volunteers there haven't heard from their family yet. And it's been 4 days already, or 3 days, whatever it's been. And, you know, they're hurting themselves, wondering themselves, where's my family? But there's no way to hear, even if they're okay. And so I just want to ask you to pray for them and consider what you can do. You know, sometimes at the Christmas season we think about the things that we want and the things we want to do and share with our family here. But we have a family in the Philippines and they're hurting right now. And so please pray and consider and ask God what He would have you to do to help them today. And I just want to thank you again for joining us on the Mission TV show, Mission TV Live. And may God bless you until we see you again next week.